I think that we have to burn it down.
Do you think it's time to end the American experiment?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
All right, everybody. That's just a quick snippet of a video that was posted on one of our pages, the Heartland Defenders page. And go ahead, you can watch the whole thing there. I just figured that's something we're going to talk about today. I don't know why that's still popping up. There's that, and there is... That's the one I wanted. HeartlandDefenders.com, Heartland Defenders on YouTube, Heartland Defenders here on Facebook, where you're watching us live now. All right, and let's see. Let's get Jacob in here. Hi, Jacob.
I'm working.
You're working? So... It's going to be Jacob and myself today. We do not think we have Cosper. I think he's doing a date with the wife. So hopefully that's going good.
Hope it's going good.
Oh, yeah, it probably is. I always need time away sometimes. I even needed time away today. I probably should have done it. But no, so that video was basically a video coming out of Seattle where the nightly... protests, as you want to call them. They turn into riots nightly.
Think about it. That's what the media wants them called. They're just peaceful protests.
Right. That's what the media's saying. But really, if you start watching that video nightly, they're shooting fireworks and throwing, all kinds of explosive incendiary devices, trying to start the fire department or the police department on fire. The parking deck, it's a bit ridiculous. And if you watch the video, they talk about how anybody that's videotaping cannot show them in a negative light because they don't want that. But anyway, go watch the video after the show. Don't watch it now. Let us know what you think. Send us, after the show messages, and we'll talk about it. But like, share, subscribe, share with your friends, share now. Got a couple of shares in. I do believe I'm half still loading pages. Dang, the video's behind for me. A lot behind for me. Let's see here. All right, Everyday Dave, Haley, hey everybody. Thank you for coming and watching. So, yeah, as you saw, there's some people out there, or a lot of people, it seems like, that they want you to think, wants to tear everything down and start over. Now, I've said the words burn it down before, but when I mean that, I just mean our party system. I don't mean the whole thing. There's nothing else I would rather have than what we have here. Our party system, on the other hand, is a whole nother story, in my opinion. Oh, let's see. Quite a few people hopping on tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. So,
looks like for me we're up to about 11.
Yeah, something like that. But, so, I went to go buy more ammo this week. Man, did I make that mistake.
You went to go buy more ammo?
Yeah, I always try to, every paycheck, buy some more. And
why would you want more ammo? I mean...
because, you can never have enough. It's like chips.
Chips, you just can't open one bag.
You can't just eat one. You can't just have one magazine of ammo. So I alternate. One paycheck I buy some ammo. Some other paychecks I buy another paycheck I'll buy some magazines. But between buying ammo and buying lumber, it's getting a little ridiculous. You laugh at the lumber thing.
I gotta ask. What's the lumber for?
So we were going to build a deck with the lumber.
Okay.
Well, since everybody's stuck at home, everybody's doing home projects. So everybody's buying lumber. So nobody has lumber. And the ones that do have almost doubled their prices. I know between when I went to, which, I kind of wasn't prepared, and I kind of was. I had already priced out what the lumber was going to be before our hot tub got delivered. I was kind of putting off ordering it. And then when I went to order it, places were telling me, no, we can't deliver to you till middle of September. And I'm like, and it's going to be $300 more than the original quote you got because that was a month ago. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah. So, ammo's getting to look about the same way still, where it's very scarce. At least for the stuff I want.
I will say this. As long as you were preparing before it went crazy, you can still find what you need.
Yes.
We went shopping for 9mm ball this past week because the girls were going for their CCW class. So they needed some ball because a month ago we had our range weekend. I went through plenty of ball. We were a little low. We found a store, and it was limited to 2 boxes per one person.
So did you bring everybody over 18 to buy?
So, yeah.
Yeah. No.
Ammo was bought.
See, for me, there's a specific kind of ammo I like. It runs clean, pretty clean through my gun. It's consistent. And so for me to not be able to find that ammo was, I could have settled for something else. And I definitely did not want blazer brass because that stuff burns so dirty. So yeah, I was just looking for more ammo. I give away my blazer brass, blazer brass. I can't say it today. But I have a good amount of both hollow point and ball ammo laying around. But I just always like to have a little more. Just especially when I don't have any more in boxes and I have them in mags.
I'm gonna say if you watch that video, there's definitely
some reasons.
There's the cause of needing more.
And you know what? I even went buying ammo before I watched that video. It's just...
But the question that got asked and what kind of populated above this video is, are you prepared?
Yeah. Are you prepared? Are you really prepared?
Jeremy, do you think if what's happening in Portland and what that video portrays by an independent journalist, do you think you and yours are prepared for that type of thing to happen in your local city?
Oh, yeah. I am. Jane is. Hi, Jane, by the way. I saw you just...
The question turns to the viewing audience. Are you prepared?
Right.
Do you feel that you have what you need if that were to happen?
Right. And that's something, like, I don't feel the need to run out and have to buy a bunch of things because I have a lot of what I need stored away, stashed away, put in a way that if I have to hold down at home, I can, and if I have to leave, it don't take too long to leave. The key is, though, for other people, because I know you get it just as much as I do. Oh, you're a prepper. You're prepared for things. Well, now I know where to go when things go bad.
Sure.
No. There's a reason why I buy more ammo than I do toilet paper.
Why as well leave?
Because I can take the toilet paper if I need to.
The question is not, I need to know who's prepared and who's not. Because I see Eamon posting the 5th.
Yeah.
Jason says the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th.
Jane, we're just asking if people are actually prepared. Are they really prepared? Are they still putting it off?
Well, and I'm going to ask this question because I was reading it somewhere today, actually. Flipping through a book, and I just saw a page, and I know what it was. It was a off-grid magazine that I get. One of the articles was talking about environmental hazards and high-tech clothing to help you against environmental hazards.
Mm-hmm.
And right there on one of the pages for that was a little diagram of a woman standing there with a hat on and a long sleeve shirt and a pair of pants and boots. And it basically explained the levels.
Yep.
3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, 3 hours without shelter in extreme conditions, 3 minutes without air, and 3 seconds without, and it says these words: common sense. Now, I've always heard it cognitive thought or clear thinking,
Mm-hmm.
but the last thing it said was 3 seconds without common sense. I ask you again, are you prepared?
Mm-hmm.
Because last week or the week before, Jeremy, you were involved in it, so you heard the conversation. But there was a movie. I'm not going to bring up the movie and everybody go watch it. It's on Netflix. It's got the guy who played Hercules in the 90s on the TV series.
His name's right there, and I'm ashamed to say that it's right there.
He's an actor in it. Doesn't last long, but he's an actor in it. But it in a very odd way, portrays similarly what is transpiring in Portland and in places around our country.
Right.
And when you watch this movie, because I did, when you watch this movie, there's a lot of yeahs. There's a lot of, yeah, that's it. A lot of people with firearms, and you can definitely tell there was product placement there. USCCA had a picture ID card in it. For anybody that's a USCCA member, you don't get a picture ID. You just sign up, and that's it. You're done.
Yeah. I got some kind of card to mail with my member
You got a card.
number. No picture ID though, but yeah.
It's a photo ID, so must be like an elite member. But you could tell it was product placement. But you could tell it was a gun movie. It was a religious movie. But it was kind of like worst case scenario societal breakdown movie.
Well, the
question of are you prepared for me at this point in time isn't do you have enough toilet paper, beans, and Band-Aids to survive? The question is do you have the mindset to survive?
Right. And that's again that's a conversation you have to have with yourself on what you think your limits will be. Research because when things go bad, and we see it all the time in the movies, and I know the movies aren't real, but there are going to be situations where there are going to be terrible people that are going to take advantage of situations. Just like the protests, where the rioters were stealing stuff out of stores, looting. There are going to be people to do that, even though that's not something they should be doing morally. Mentally, though, my dad and I were talking about this today, actually, because he was talking about coyote hunting today. And he says one of the great things about coyote hunting is the coyotes tend to speed things up pretty quickly, and you don't have much they make chaos to the point that you have to slow down to work through the chaos to shoot a coyote or whatever, because 2 or 3 of them, they actually are smart enough that one can come up behind you while 2 or 3 are out in the field, stuff like that. So he was talking about that and how nice it was, not nice, but it was interesting that, after hunting for a couple of years, that he's realized it doesn't feel as hectic and chaotic as it used to, because he's used to it. He slows it down. Doing any kind of training helps that as well.
And like I said this past weekend, the girls were getting their class done for the state of Ohio's CHL. And both of them looked at me and said, accuracy is not my thing, or I was never really good with accuracy. And it's the easiest way to explain it is it's a mental thing. When you're shooting and you're going for a target, the bullet's already hit the target before you've realized the recoils hit your hand. I mean, it's going that fast. So to think that it's not a mental aspect as much as a physical aspect for shooting alone, just being a sports shooter, you're wrong. Your mind plays so much importance in everything we do,
which is why it's important to train your mind. Like when you go shooting, at some point your brain and your body stops anticipating recoil, so you don't shoot low anymore. You know what's going to happen. You have that. If stuff becomes muscle memory and memory. That's why you see when people talk about prepping and preparing that they are that they say you need to practice, just like practicing, when you need to leave, when you need to stay in, what do you do if somebody's trying to break in your home, stuff like that. It's not just hey, wait till the moment and wing it, because if you wing it, there's a lot of error that can happen in there. There's a lot of your brain second guessing. And that's why everybody says practice, walk through it, do it more than once.
Just to keep bringing up the preparedness and we see it, guys. We see it. We're up to 13 viewers right now. We know we never see. I don't think we've ever seen any more than 20 viewers. But if you share this out,
30 something a few times.
Did we? I don't know. But Jeremy, did you ever see the show Revolution? It was a very short-lived TV show. Basically, it was the premise that the power just kind of EMP'd shut off one day. But
no, I saw the other one that was like
family had like a necklace or a key ring or something that somehow it was powered still.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't see that one.
It got weird, but the very first episode of this show kind of laid home in my mind a scenario like what we're going through. This family, after this happened, was walking with the husband, the wife, and a child down. It seemed to be like a high school exterior corridor area. Random person walks up. Random person talks to him cordially. Guy turns around to do something. Next thing you know, random person's got the wife and the kid beside him with a gun to the side of the wife's head, telling him to give him all of his stuff or he's killing them both.
Yeah.
The question is not, okay, do you have a concealed handgun license and you're going to pull your weapon out, you're going to handle that threat at that moment in time? The question is mentally, are you going to be able to do that?
Yeah. Or mentally, could you have prevented the guy even getting up on you by paying attention? Because a lot of people basically autopilot through life, walk, like going from a store at night to their car automatically. You hear a lot of times where they're like, I didn't even see the person. I didn't know they were there. They just showed up out of nowhere. You weren't looking around. You weren't paying attention to the person that was creeping the parking lot. And that's, no, the show I watched was Jericho. That was the end of the world TV show that I ended up watching. Which I think quite a few people in the group watched, was Jericho.
Yes.
Yeah. Which that one's pretty interesting to watch.
But we can sit here and talk every episode, Jeremy. Me, you, and Cosper can sit here and talk every episode about putting dirt into a bucket,
right?
Put some seeds in it, watering it for a month, 2 months, 3 months.
I went and bought a couple of plants that really was big.
Plant grows up, get a bean this big, you're good to go. We can talk for months and months and months on getting rice, getting dried food, getting dried protein, putting them in buckets, putting your air absorbers or your oxygen absorbers in there, putting them in bags, closing your bucket, storing that off into a dry dark place for months and years. We all have watched Doomsday Preppers.
Yeah.
Well, they get a score of 5.95 because they don't have enough water.
Again, that show's crazy. I mean, any of those prepper shows you watch on TV, they completely overblow things.
Other could buy. Let's talk about the richest person on the planet. Well, maybe not the richest person on the planet, but let's talk about somebody that's very wealthy and has the ability to buy everything they want. How many people, because I know I did, how many people saw it was like a YouTube video, I think it was popping up on Facebook, it was a few years back, where the video was about Hollywood elite and rich folks buying like $10,000 prepper bags, and it was like a bottle of 1862 wine or something like that in there, gold flake this, and the most expensive crap you could buy. You got the money, you buy whatever you want. But mentally, if you're not prepared for what you're seeing on the news, what you're seeing on TV, no, seriously, tonight, at like 5 o'clock tonight, Heartland Defenders got a t-shirt order from Arizona.
Yeah, nice.
We're seeing, people are seeing what's going on, and they're looking for things. So I'm asking, and yes, I know the 15 people watching our show, I know almost everybody that's on there is going to say yes, because I know most everybody that's on here.
Mm-hmm.
But for anybody that doesn't know my face, doesn't know Jeremy's face, have never talked to us in person, do you really feel that you are mentally prepared for what is happening in your country?
Right. And heck, like Palmer says, that sounds all great and good. How are you going to protect it from the people that didn't do that? So that's funny, because I was even just thinking, even as simple as the guy with all the money buying gold flake freaking rice. Does the dude even know how to cook rice? And I'm not talking 5-minute rice, whatever the heck. I'm talking real rice. Because if you walk down the street, there's a lot of people, and you asked everybody, do you know how to cook rice? They're gonna go, well, of course, it only takes 5 minutes.
my equation right now, inside of cities, 9 out of 10 people don't even realize corn doesn't come from a can.
9 out of 10? I don't know. Oh man, is that me just being hopeful that that's not a good number?
I lost hope for humanity a very long time. Inside cities, they have lost, like, no.
Inside a can, what was it? There was a couple other ones I've seen and heard too, about like where meat comes from, and the store.
All that I'll equate to jokes. When you see it in the news, or when you see it on newspapers, when you see it in Facebook posts, a lot of that stuff can be made up. But I have actually had the opportunity with my job to go into people's houses and listen to their conversations as we interact while I'm doing my job in their house. And yeah, I'm going to say an easy 9 out of 10 people don't realize the simplest things in life and how they work. For me, the simplest thing in life is to realize that corn doesn't come from a can.
Well,
so to just use that as the analogy, don't. They might not understand. They might not understand that the cable's not magic. It's actually a technology. They just don't understand. Mm-hmm. They're the kind of people that when I walk through the door and I change the input on their television, they think I just did a heart transplant with my eyes closed.
Right.
So, but that being said, do you think these people, those kind of people, are going to be ready if what is happening in Portland spreads across the country?
No, of course not. Those are the people, well, some of them probably, that are saying, I'm going to your house. Yeah. That's, no. talking to people, I get talk to a lot of people every day for work. A lot of people aren't ready or prepared, or they don't even understand. The biggest one was, what was her name? Jessica Simpson, when she was like chicken of the sea. It's not tuna fish. Yeah. There's a lot of people out there like that. A lot of people out there that don't understand a lot of really simple things. So for them to be prepared, no. A lot of people here, I believe, are completely prepared that are watching currently. A lot of them I see sitting across the table from me at some of the Heartland stuff. So some of them know.
I'm not saying there are not people out there that are well prepared. I know a lot of people that are well prepared. At the same time, I know a lot of people that may be well prepared equipment-wise, but very lacking in the knowledge base and the mindset, the mental aspect of prepping. I would venture to say the same, if not more people too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jacob, Hunter, that's pretty crazy because that means 3D printers will be gone. Or they'll have to do with 3D printers like they did with, what is that, copiers, where you couldn't copy money. Make it so you can't do certain things. I don't know. Anyway, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. I just caught my eye. I was like, really?
we're staying out of it. Right now we're talking about this because the bottom line is politics. If you haven't caught the news lately, about every 15 minutes there's something new that pisses somebody other than you off or you off and not other people.
And that's why I stay away from the news.
They're trying to drive a wedge between every single person in this country. Not races. Every single person. That's why you have whites and blacks and Hispanics and Asians fighting amongst themselves over something other than them. I mean, am I wrong?
No.
So they're trying to divide every single household in this country right now with the politics and the news and and everything that's happening. Cosper's not here to slow me down, and Jeremy, I don't know if you're going to try, but
we'll see.
You want to go tinfoil hat? You want to go crazy on this? If you allow them to keep putting the crap in your face and you don't start thinking for yourself about what's really happening, you are doomed to just prep for dumb shit and let them do whatever they want anyway.
Well, and you're going to prep for, and that thing is going to be, you're going to prep for the things they're telling you to prep for, and you're not going to be ready for the things that they're really doing.
I mean, what was it, 3 months ago, 5 months ago? You couldn't go on Facebook any day of the week without some prepared person posting a picture of a convoy of military vehicles just doing their convoys, screaming up and down that the government's coming for us.
Right.
I'm not changing subjects right now, guys. I know a lot of people come on and say, "Hey, guy, you're like rabbits. You just jump all over the place." I'm not changing subject. I'm still on the mental aspect. To sit there and see a United States military reserve and/or National Guard unit driving down the street in a convoy, screaming they're coming to take us, that is you not mentally prepared.
No.
Because I don't know if anybody realizes it. We're in the United States. We have military here. Mm-hmm. They do things.
Oh yeah, I've got a dude. It is uncommon for me not to see a military vehicle go up and down the road where I live.
We were coming back from the class today, driving down the road. On the other side of the highway, rest area, there's 15 LMTV up armored vehicles.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we have a reserve and a armory right down the road from us. So It gets
Go to Columbus. There's DSCC in Columbus. It's an entire base of these people.
Yep.
Motor pools all over the place. You can go in there and find tanks and trucks and Humvees and semis and whatever your heart desires.
Yep. Every once in a while, we get a military plane that goes over the big ones.
Send it to whoever and say the world's coming to an end.
And that's the crazy thing is the misinformation people spread. So the panic, the misinformation, the not mentally being prepared, because you're not mentally prepared if you're screaming they're coming for everybody because you saw a Humvee going down the highway or you saw 5 Humvees going down the highway. Because for one, check your sources. What's your source? You saw a Humvee go down the road, so you automatically know what they're going and doing. I mean, I see it a lot online where people do the posting the pictures. We've seen it early on during the Rona and everything. Oh God, they're coming to town. The military's coming to town and doing this, and it was already said that they were going to help set up tents and stuff like that at hospitals to help with the overflow if it got bad. Back when they were still assuming that this was going to get super bad, and it never did. Whole nother argument though. But being prepared in the aspect of knowing your sources, knowing what that you're giving truthful information, not just trying to spread panic. And I understand some people don't intend to spread panic. It's more of their anxiety and their panic kind of takes over. And they're like, oh, they grab their phone and take a picture of something and immediately assume what it is. Like, I can play, it's a fun game to play when you're driving down the road. You see 3-4 cops pulled over. It's a car. The first thing you do is you guess what they do. And then the game is, I wonder why they're standing outside the car.
I'm morbid. I'm morbid because whenever I'm in deadlock traffic on like 270, outer belt around Columbus, deadlock traffic, I'm sitting there in traffic just getting more and more pissed off that I ain't moving. Somebody better be fucking dead.
There better be an arm on the fucking road.
Yeah. Dead body. Where the fuck are they?
Well, and that's a wild thing in the highway when you see an accident on the other side of the road, how everybody slows down.
Yep.
And it's almost guaranteed another accident happens. Yep. They're doing that. And yes, Palmer, the whole being prepared mentally to maybe possibly do some dark and, quote, fucked up shit. Yes. I'm going to skim over that one. Because we go down a hell of a rabbit hole on that one.
Yeah, we're going to stay out of that hole tonight.
You do have to have that conversation with yourself, though, of what would you do to keep your family and yourself safe? And the people around you that you care about.
You know what's funny? Jeremy? I'm thinking of a statement that it pairs really well with your thought right there. Where's your line?
Yeah. We've said that quite a few times.
Not where's Jeremy's.
No, where's yours?
Your line. At what point does whoever cross your line? That's the dark corner you have to get into in your mind.
Mm-hmm. And it's not one line, because you've got multiple lines. You've got the when do I start tightening up around the house line. You've got the when do I start really paying attention, like when the whole buying frenzy happened when the lockdown first hit. There was people that were being robbed in store parking lots. At least around here, there'd been a few. So that line of, okay, I carry every day. I admit, I carry every day. It's hard to catch me on a day where I'm like, I know that thing's heavy. I'm just going to leave it home today. No, I carry every day. But sometimes when I went in stores, it may or may not have been locked away in the truck safe. But now, heck, I don't even take it off my side when I'm driving now. The same with when crap was going on and the buying frenzies were happening. I tightened up a little bit. We tightened up around the house. We didn't, cars were kept at a certain level of fuel. We had extra fuel laying around. All tightening up just enough to make sure that if we had to, we had what we needed. And we were paying attention and being safe. And yeah, I keep seeing things clicking. I saw my name for a second. Squirrel.
Yep.
Squirrel!
Jay Hunter just said
those are all lines you have to think about. Right now, you don't have to worry about not sending your kids to school. But, because they're already home for the summer, and a lot of school districts are giving you the option to keep your kids home and let them school from home. So that's now not a decision you have to make with a line, at least currently. But you have a lot of lines you have to figure out. Where do you stand? Where is that hard limit that once you cross that line, things change?
Cosper made a statement last week, and I'll remind everybody this week that here, I believe it's next weekend. Am I wrong in this, Jeremy? I believe it's next weekend. No, weekend after next.
I was going to say, is it next weekend? Because,
No, I believe it's the weekend after next. And Cosper will yell at me if I say it wrong. I believe it's the weekend after next. The second big Virginia rally being put on by BLM and prepper groups and all these other people.
Yep.
If you're not going to it, you may want to try to go to it, especially if you didn't go to the first one.
Yeah.
If you're one of those people who's like, I'm all American, yeah, and you didn't go to the first one, you better go to the second.
And the best thing about the second one is it's on a Saturday. Because that was the one thing I looked at. I was like, do I got to take a day off? I mean, I will. I have plenty of days to take off. So I wasn't worried about that, but it was just that, do I need to schedule to take a day off, or am I just going to maybe take the Friday off? Are we driving down early Friday? That's something I'll talk to Cosper about, because I'm thinking about going as well.
There's another line, and your lines, talking about multiple lines, your lines, mentally, those lines are going to be determined on your situation.
Right.
So you go to this event, let's say they pull another Richmond, Virginia, the evil gun people are coming event, and they put the barrier fence up again.
Oh, yeah.
We had the conversation after the first one that if we really wanted to, that fence would have been down.
Oh yeah, there was enough people there, they couldn't have done anything about taking that.
The police presence was not presented to have enough people to stop the amount of people that was outside that fence. That fence would have been down. So your line now gets moved to, you're at this event. You're standing 50 feet away from this fence. The mob between the fence and you decides to start pushing on that fence. Does your line say you cross the fence when it's down? Does your line say you help push the fence over? Does your line say you turn around and walk the other damn way? You make that decision. Mentally, you have to make these types of decisions. Mm-hmm. That's what you're seeing out of these riots. When they're showing, peaceful protest. You're watching people, and if you watch that video that we posted, it's right above the video you're watching right now. So when we're done doing this, jump on there and watch that one. It's like 4 minutes, just shy of 5 minutes. He's talking about it. They're peaceful protest. They're intentionally setting fires. They're doing this, and peaceful protesters are standing there, willfully watching them.
Some are losing their minds. There's the one guy at the end.
There was one guy they found that was just losing his mind about it.
Well, not even just about that. It was about the whole, look at how many, there was 2% African American there. Or, yes.
But needless to say, you have peaceful protesters who are willfully standing there watching these things happen. They've not made the mental effort to decide where that line is. Mm-hmm. Or to be prepared for when this happens. Now, I have seen one video from all of the protests / riots and everything else, where a handful of the peaceful protesters, I'm air quoting, maybe I shouldn't, a handful of the peaceful protesters, 2 or 3 people, actually stopped a non-peaceful protester, removed the weapon, a hammer, from his hands, and gave him to the police. They made a mental decision that person had crossed the line, and they took actions to stop them.
Yep.
It doesn't, the line does not have to be, because I see this a lot out of the prepper groups and out of the militia groups and out of the prepared people, is the line seems to only be, when do I start shooting? When do I start stacking bodies?
Right.
Here's the hint, kids. For anybody that was in the military, you've already been to that line, and you made the determination while you were there, whether in peacetime or in wartime, whether you were going to pull trigger and start stacking bodies.
Mm-hmm.
If you did not take the opportunity, or was not able to take the opportunity, or was not able to do the military, being a prepper doesn't mean your line has to be, I'm going to stack bodies, or everything's copacetic and all I'm going to do is bitch.
Right.
The line can be to stop what's happening in your country.
Stand up for what you believe in or agree with. There's a line there as well. When do you stand up and stop just watching people mess up a community, destroy a community, destroy somebody's business? I mean, do you stand up alone? There's all those lines you have to figure out when it comes to your line and what's going on. Yeah, for me, I don't know why it keeps coming on. I keep turning it off. The stupid closed caption on the bottom of the video. Like, why is there words?
Facebook. It's Facebook.
They're documenting,
inclusionary. The problem with that is right now with that closed captioning, they know every word we say, and if we say the wrong word,
yep,
gone.
Yep. But
for me, and for Jeremy, I would assume. I guess the biggest question is are you mentally ready for whatever may come from what is happening?
Right.
And from that, are you mentally ready for whatever may come? Like I said, out of that article from Off Grid Magazine, and very last one, are you using 3 seconds of common sense? Or should I use the better term, 3 seconds of cognitive thought?
Mm-hmm.
Because speculation isn't cognitive thought in my mind. Fear isn't cognitive thought in my mind. Anxiety isn't cognitive thought in my mind. Clear-headed thinking. Are you using 3 seconds? Before you post that picture of the black Jeeps or the tan Humvees or the soldier just doing his job at the tent outside the hospital, are you using 3 seconds of cognitive thought to think about what really might be happening there?
Right. And it could be even less than 3 seconds. I mean, I know they use the 3 seconds in the preparing and going through 3 minutes, 3 days.
Well, 3 milliseconds just makes it a little more difficult because then you have to find 3 seconds of something. So
right.
3 seconds of cognitive thought.
And Palmer, yes, I know it's been a while because I just caught it. I didn't see my name. Yes, that's something you also have to ask yourself. I mean, at what point are you willing to stand up for somebody else? And you have to think about that. 3 seconds of cognitive thought's a long time. But you also how do you act when you don't have all the information? Because you don't know if that old man is a perv and a pedo. You don't know. You kind of have to assess situations and figure out where your line is for that situation. I ain't smoking four dudes that are beating a pedo. I'm just saying, I'm going to just walk away or pretend to walk away.
We've talked about it for the past week. We noticed that we see a huge downtick when we really start hammering politics. When we really start talking about the politics. So we're going to try to give what we see as what the majority of the viewers want to see. And that's preparedness stuff. Well, this weekend, this Sunday, we're going to start with the simple one. That bottom one, 3 seconds of cognitive thought, 3 seconds of common sense.
Yep.
Mental aspect. This weighs absolutely nothing. Knowing how to do it, when to do it, and why to do it doesn't weigh anything.
Yep.
You're not carrying extra knowing how to do it.
You can actually carry less knowing how to do things than carrying the new special gadget that was, $100 and only does one thing. If you know how to do that without that gadget, why carry the gadget? Another thing about your 3 seconds of cognitive thought in preparing. So I did the whole bucket garden. We've talked about it a couple of times in passing. At some point, I was so ready to just take some lighter fluid and burn the whole thing down with the freaking Japanese beetles, man. I'm telling you what, there was almost a big old fire on my driveway. I went to the store and I was like, hey. The lady asked me if I needed help. I go, yeah, what do you got for Japanese beetles? She's like, oh, we've got this and this. I'm like, good, because it's better than what I was going to do, which is to just burn them to the ground.
That right there is not being mentally prepared for the situation you had.
Nope.
Here at the house, we got all the food plot out there, right? We got 2 big old freaking fat groundhogs that hide up underneath the shed. You know why they're big old and fat?
Because you don't do anything.
I can't shoot inside the city limits. I didn't go out and buy a trap. And those bastards ate all of the freaking Brussels sprouts.
Oh.
Every leaf down to the stalk base.
Oh. Nah, they make some air guns that are pretty quiet and are 22 caliber.
They do. Well, the irony to it is we left for vacation last week.
Oh, no.
Right? Beautiful, tall Brussels sprout stalks, just leaves of green. Beautiful.
Nobody was home, so nobody was to chase them off.
Had people coming, taking care of the dogs and the pig and all that, right? Got pictures midway through the week of the garden because the wife wanted pictures of the garden. Half the plants were gone. Most of the leaves were gone. Maybe the bottom was left. What's going on here? Got home. That much of the stock sticking out of the dirt.
Yeah, Ryan, a bow will work too.
Just gone.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's maddening. That is. Oof. I had an issue with them at my last house where we had a pole building and there was a concrete slab. Well, they decided to build their thing under the concrete slab, and so I could see the concrete slab was starting to lean and it was probably going to crack sooner or later. So getting them out from under there was the worst thing, and I think to this day my ex tells me they're still back there. Like, they left for a little while, but I think they just moved next door and then came back.
Oh yeah, they find their happy place. They definitely find their happy, because there's not a morning, and I just got to go down and buy some traps, put some traps out, get them trapped, get them out of here. But every morning I'll go out and smoke a cigarette. As soon as I crack open that back door to step out on the porch, both of them. Yep. One on one side of the yard, one on this side by the flower or by the garden box. Take off running back to the back. Let the dog out. There goes Lewis. Bullet down through the backyard and all the way back to that pole barn, nose up underneath that shed just sniffing for them to come out.
Yeah, 6.5 works good when you can use it.
Truth. I don't think the sheriff, the city, or the state would really like me to.
No.
I mean, I could, and I would. But yeah, I don't think my neighbors to the left and to the right of me would be all right with it either.
I've got a couple of neighbors 200 doors down that they go out there, and so there's some woods behind them, but on the other side of those woods, about 50 yards, is another line of homes on the other road.
Right.
Well, these guys think it must be safe that if they shoot an angle down at the tree stump, that it's okay. One day we're sitting here, we just hear pop, 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 and it's like it's right there. And Jane comes around the corner, looks at me. I look at her, I'm like, that was gunshot. She goes, yeah. She looks out the window and sees that they're shooting over there. We're like, oh boy, because they weren't.
Hey, didn't you move from a place where it was either fireworks or gunshots? Now you're playing the game again?
Well, we don't play the game here because there's a guy across the street in the back a little ways that he has a range set up because just about every weekend. And they're the good gunshots, though. You're not cringing when you hear these gunshots. These are you're out, you're away from everything. You know somebody's just shooting at targets or groundhogs or whatever they're doing.
Right.
Where I used to live, it was more of like you couldn't fire a shot without hitting somebody. Lived in Akron. Nice little part of Akron. Not nice at all. Where...
Heartland Heights, wasn't it?
Yeah, Goodyear Heights. Yeah, it was not okay. Because even around 4th of July, you're like, oh, that might have been a firework, but that really sounded like a couple of gunshots, especially the way they kind of quickened and then slowed and quickened again.
What, 5 years in maintenance? Mm-hmm. You know how many? I loathe the day that I have to work on call New Year's Day. Because New Year's, that's the worst day of the year for on call. All you do is run outages, and all you're doing is finding perfect bullet holes through the cable.
Oh, nice.
Just done.
Dumb people just doing dumb things. Ugh. That's not
well,
good.
What goes up must come down.
Well, some people just think just like throwing their garbage away, it just disappears.
3 seconds of common sense, people.
If you can't see it come down, does it really come down like the tree in the woods? Do you really hear it if it falls and nobody's around to hear it?
Yes, don't you do.
Does it make a noise?
Still makes a sound. Air still moves through. You may not get it to your ears, but it still makes a sound. Yeah. It's like Schrodinger's cat. Is the cat alive or dead?
Right.
You didn't feed it, it's dead.
Yeah. No. So yeah, you don't see it, you throw it away, you never see it again. Is it really causing a problem? It just disappears.
No, it becomes a mountain. Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah, there's one right on 71 right there in Columbus. Right south of Columbus, right?
But this leads right into what we're talking about. It's like people drive down the road, look right at this huge mountain that was never there 20 years ago. They're like, what is that?
And why does it smell like
the landfill?
And why does it smell like feet and milk?
Like, that's the landfill. Well, what's the landfill? That's where all of your trash goes. They build a giant mountain out of it, cover it in some dirt to make it look pretty. It decomposes and becomes a freaking mountain.
Yeah. Yep. And what is it with the whole? I know we're about to be done, but what the heck are the camp places that are always near freaking dump sites? Crap. Can't remember what they're called. Somebody will know what I'm talking about because all the ones. Yes. The KOAs around here, they're always near a dump site. So down every one I've drove past in the area. In this corner of Ohio, the KOAs tend to be more towards the dump site.
Yeah, I can't say that down here because the only KOA I can think of, and there's probably way more, but the one that I know of off the top of my head is up on the north side of Buckeye Lake, and it's not anywhere near a dump.
Yeah. See, Ryan, Everyday Dave, they're all like, KOAs? It's weird, but I don't know why anybody would want to camp near a dump site. The smell is just...
Yeah, water treatment facilities. I mean, we're blowing some people. Somebody's going to watch the end of this show and just their mind's going to be blown. Your water treatment center? What's that? Well, that's where all the wastewater goes. Gets cleaned.
For you to drink again.
No, the water just, it's magic. It's always clean. 3 seconds. Cognitive thought, people. Shit doesn't work the way you think it works because it actually has to do with things.
Right.
Not magic.
It's amazing. And it's amazing to see the amount of people that, even the simple things, the simplest things, you're like, you don't, what do you mean you don't understand?
You know, I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. I'll be perfectly honest with every viewer here. We were talking before the show. I said it to Jeremy. I'm like, you know, at this point in time, I'm done. I'm done looking at the I'll call it what it is. Some of the crazier people out there going, you should be getting prepared, or you should have already been prepared. And for them to go, what can I do? I'm like, at this point, I don't know.
It's really hard because of you can't get prepared. I mean, you could get prepared mildly, but at this point, with the way buying frenzies keep, like, so when Ohio decided to do, you know, everybody has to have a mask the week before they announced the whole state needed a mask again. Which, okay, whether you agree or don't agree, I'm not going to get into that argument before they start. The big thing was I started to watch the frenzy of buying again when I went to the store. Again, we don't have to worry about it because we have the things we know. We have our freezer of meat. We have the things that we know that we cycle through, like the meat in the freezer. My dad today even said, hey, you need to come down and get this, 10, 20 pounds of chicken I got down here for you. I'm like, sweet. But we don't have to worry about that. I go and I get the comfort stuff, but when I'm at the store, buying Oreos, whatever, I'm a fat kid, I need some Oreos. I see the people that are the people that are panicking, and you can see, the toilet paper, like the cart's full of water and toilet paper again. I saw that a little bit right before they announced the whole everybody needs masks, because everybody was, and I still think sooner or later they're going to tell us to shut the state down again, at least for certain businesses, bars being one of them.
Being an essential employee and being one that has to drive around all the time, I'm not drastically opposed to shutting the state down. Have you driven in the last 3 months?
Oh, yeah, we just drove to Akron and back yesterday for a memorial for a friend.
It was really freaking nice. The speed limit was like 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. There wasn't that whole time the state was shut down, there wasn't a single freaking shutdown of the road because there was a freaking accident. It was like everybody knew how to drive.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's gotten worse again.
But it's for personal reasons. I'm not opposed for personal reasons. Sorry. Sorry.
Right. Well, for me, it doesn't matter. They could shut the state down, do the whole thing over again, and my schedule still stays the same. I sit here at home. I've been told I'm not going back to my office before the end of the year. It's no longer in sight again. They've backed off on people going back to the office. So I'm okay with that. I can get up and go to the hot tub, have a cup of coffee before work, and that's my drive to work.
Long distance drive, man.
Yeah, so, but I some people in here are saying, it's almost too late to get fully prepared. Like, we're in a situation where you should have been. Can you better your situation for a while? Yes. Is it going to be expensive? Yes. And where was the one?
But let's end the show on the note we started with.
Yep.
The first thing you can do is decide to come back next Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
hang out with us again for another hour, get a little more life lesson. We'll talk about something different. But this go around, it's not going to be expensive.
No.
Buy a book. Buy a book.
Mine are all behind me. You can't see them down.
Buy a book.
Yep, down. Wait, other direction, down there. There's some there.
Buy a book.
There's some over there.
Yeah, buy a book.
Those, I think, are movies, not books.
If you can't go out and buy a book, because you can't go out to the store and you refuse to wear a mask,
Amazon.
you can't buy a book.
And
every one of these books, every single page of these books, every single thing in these books,
yeah,
it's on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the internet.
Or I know some people are avoiding Amazon for whatever personal reasons. I do a lot of if I don't need it today, I order it through Amazon, through wherever, eBay even though I don't like eBay much, but we won't go there.
I ain't even talking about that. Do you know how many forums? Even better. The information in these books, if you can't find a forum on the internet, if you can't find a page on the internet, if you can't find a blog or a vlog on the internet or YouTube that go over the things that are in these books, because they're everywhere, message the Heartland Defenders.
Mm-hmm.
One of us will talk to you. We'll point you in the right direction, or we'll help you through it.
Yep. And it'll be one of us too, and Mike, who isn't here tonight.
It's out there. The thing is, and to end it 2 minutes past, for the three of us that are normally on the show and the two of us that are here, we've been mentally preparing for this for years, decades, cumulatively, lifetimes.
Yep.
You might just be coming into this at a little bit of a late time.
Yep.
Talk to somebody.
Talk to, like he said, message us. Go to our website. There's some good information on the website, heartlanddefenders.com, which is really funny because mine's still loading for some reason. Go to our website, go to Facebook, go to YouTube. There's some good videos on YouTube. I can't remember if Heather's watching. There's a good prepper video. A bunch of guys that do the prepping stuff. I can't remember. She always talks to me about it, and I can't remember it at the moment. But
I can tell you right now, you got 60-second survival. You've got Ready Man. They do a lot of YouTube videos. I can't remember the one that Heather watches.
Yeah, but so I'll get it. I'll figure it out. If she's not watching, I'll send her a message here today or tomorrow, depending on what time I get done with something else after the show. But definitely look stuff up, get a hold of somebody, and it's always nice to have a group like ours to be able to there's some things I'm not sure about. I don't know. But in our group, we have a saying, I know a guy. So if I don't know how to do it or I'm unsure about doing it, it's a phone call, it's a message, it's an instant message, it's a message to the whole group. Hey, I'm looking for this. I need help with this. And if they can't, we all figure it out somehow. And it's nice. I know a guy. I can say almost at anything, I know a guy. So on that note, everybody, thank you for watching. It is a couple minutes past 4. We'll be here again next weekend, at least tentatively from what we know. Everybody, you have a good weekend. Thank you for your time watching. Thank you for your time, Jacob. And we will see you guys next weekend on Sunday, 8 p.m. Like, share, subscribe, share to your family, even if you don't like them. Have a good weekend.